What's up guys? Today I'm going to show you a really common problem and how to fix it. I've got my whirlpool dryer. Now this is a pretty common problem with kenmores and a lot of other common dryers. So just because I have a whirlpool, if you're having this problem, you're probably going to have the same solution. And so the problem that we're having is that it won't turn on. You turn it and it sounds like the motor's not even kicking on, it's not even turning on, it's not spinning, it's not tumbling, it's not doing anything. And the most common thing that people will tell you to check is your belt. So you check your belt and it's fine, mine's fine, the belt's fine. And so here's the next thing you need to check. So if you're noticing that if you're not in the off position, see I'm in the off position right now, if you notice that you can turn it into like a time position and open the door and it's heating up, you can actually see through the little holes back there it heating up and turning orange, but it's not turning on. And even with the door open it's heating up. That's a problem. So I'm going to show you how to fix that problem and how to do it pretty easily. Let's do this. Alright, this is really all the tools you're going to need. I've got my socket wrench with a 1/4 inch socket, and I've got some like vice grips, needle nose vice grips type thing. You could use pliers. You can actually use a flathead screwdriver. I'm just going to be bending a metal tab, and I'll show you that in a minute. But if you don't have these, that's fine. You can find anything to do this job. Really, the only important tool you're going to need is this socket wrench with a 1/4 inch socket. Don't forget to unplug before you start this job. Alright guys, so the first thing we're going to do is take our socket wrench, our 1/4 inch socket, and we're going to take off these bolts here. There's one there, there. So there's 3 on that side, there's 3 on this side, and then you've got one here, which is kind of a weird tab thing, but take them off, and one under the cord there. And this back should kind of pop out and off, and I'll show you that in just a second. I'm going to take mine off now. Alright, so now that we got the back off, we can see our likely culprit is going to be this fuse right here. And I know you can't really tell that's a fuse. It's hard to tell it's a fuse anyway. Alright, so you've got 2 connectors there that go into this fuse here. And it actually, the whole fuse bolts into this bolt here. And it's just 1/4 inch, just like the ones you've already taken off. So what you're going to do is disconnect these connectors. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this in up here at the top to remind me that it's the top one. You might mark these or do whatever you do to make sure you know which one goes where. And this is my bottom one. Okay. Now you can take your 1/4 inch, unscrew that. Ooh, it's kind of loose. Let me see if I can, I can get it with my fingers. Now if you'd like, you can go and have this fuse tested or test it yourself, but I can promise you that thing is going to be blown. That's what's causing this. It's why it's going to heat up but not tumble. This fuse is blown. But before I go ahead and just change that fuse and call it a day, I'm going to take a look at my heating element because something is causing that to blow. And likely what it is a wire or something metal or something touching your heating element. And so your heating element is right in the bottom of this thing here. This bottom part is the heating element. So you've got a 1/4 inch there, 1/4 inch there, just one on each side. But you're going to have to get these connectors out. I'm going to show you how to do that now. Alright, first you want to take these connectors off just like we did on the other one. And again, I'm going to tuck them where they're going to go back. So this one I'm going to tuck up high because it's the top one. I'll get in there. It's probably good that it's tight. You don't want it to come out. You get confused of where it went. Okay. And this is the bottom one. This one goes into that same connector that I just took the top one out. So I'm going to tuck it down low, out of the way. And then I got this thick one that's going to go in the very bottom there. And I'm just going to set it out of the way. And I'll remember that the very bottom one is the only one. If you need to mark these to remember, do it. Better be safe than sorry. That's going to stay down there like that for me. Okay. Now here's where I was talking about you needing to pry a piece of metal tab. This one's already been pulled out, so you can see it's a little bent right there, but this little tab goes into that piece, and you need to pull this piece out. So what you're going to need to do, now that you've got the connectors off, you need to pull this metal, bend it back a little bit so you can pull that out, and then you'll bend it back in when you put the new piece back in. My needle nose is here, so I'm going to just take that. I'm going to bend that out a little bit. There we go. And it's connected to this bottom connector here. It kind of goes over the tooth on there. You just got to kind of wiggle it off. Just like that. So now I just need to get my 2 1/4 inches off here, and I can take this heating element off. Alright, I'm going to use an extension for my ratchet for the other side. It makes it a little easier. You don't have to have one, you can probably reach without it, but it makes it a little easier. Now this thing should just go ahead and pull out, kind of pulls out like that. There we go. There's my heating element. Alright guys, so now you can see the heating element is damaged. You can see it's all black in there. It's the coils are bent. Those top coils should not be like that. It's in bad shape. This thing is kind of shorted out or blown and touched something metal. Maybe the coils touched each other or touched the casing probably. But like I said, this heating coil does heat up, but it's damaged. I need a new one. Now if your heating coil looks like this, I wouldn't try to use it again. Just get a new one. They're about 60 bucks if you buy it locally. That's at least what I paid. Cheaper online. If you're willing to wait a few days, you can get it online a lot cheaper, and the fuse is about 15 bucks. So I've already got mine. I'm going to show you how to put it back on now. Alright guys, I got my new heating element, and one of the first things you're going to need to do before you put it on is that little tab we bent. See, it's been in on the new one, and that piece won't go in there. So we're going to pull this back. Probably do it with your fingers when it's like this. You're going to need to pull that back out of the way so you can get that piece in there. Alright, then this is going to go in the way it came off, kind of like at an angle at first. And make sure you get it all the way up in there. There we go. Be a little gentle with it. You don't want to move those coils and it'll end up shorting out again, so be a little gentle. Alright, let's go ahead and start my 2 1/4 inch bolts back in. Okay, now we're going to put this piece back in. Remember, it goes over that back tooth there. Then we're going to bend this metal tab back into it the way it came out. Okay, next we got to hook our connectors back up. This was my top one. And this one went on the bottom. Heating element's all hooked up. Now let's go ahead and put this new fuse in. Alright, remember you want your prongs facing out and the hole is up top where you can put the screw back in. You've got this little area on the bottom that kind of catches. So you're going to slide that in first so that it catches on the lip there. A little. There you go. And then that fits like that. We're going to put our bolt back in. Hook our connectors back up to this. Here's my top one. Here's my bottom one. Alright, make sure those connectors are all tight. And then we just need to put the back on. We should be good to go. Alright, the back's back on. All we got to do is plug this thing and try it out. Woo! There we have it, a working dryer. I hope this helped you guys out. It's a quick and easy fix. If you have this problem, do it yourself. It's pretty easy. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Peace!